Hello
Yeah.
everyone, I'm Dr. Vishali Rane Khan, your dermatologist. A while back, I had started this series whereby I was going to discuss conditions which have involvement of other specialities. But today I'm not doing that. I'm not here as a specialist. I'm not here as a skincare expert. I'm here only as an audience, as a parent. And today we have called with us Dr. Nahid Dave, an eminent psychiatrist, counselor, and a mindfulness instructor. And we are going to talk about the topic in question being suicide. Welcome here, Dr. Nahid.
Hi, Vishali. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you for coming on such a short notice. And
Hmm.
like I said, today I'm here only as an audience, so the stage is all yours. I have made my list of questions ready. So, should we start?
Hmm. Yes, definitely.
So, my first question is, when someone, you're a group of friends sitting together and someone says that, I'm so worked up, I'm so tired in my life, I just want everything to end. I just want to kill myself, just in a
Yeah.
conversation, a random statement during a conversation. As a friend, what should you do? What should someone do when you hear a friend expressing a desire to commit suicide?
Okay. Firstly, when a person says something like this, that, I want to end my life, it not necessarily means it's a suicidal idea. It could mean a cry for help. It could mean that they definitely need some kind of assistance, but we're not yet sure with only this much information whether it is help as a friend, as a family member, as a psychologist, or a psychiatrist. So
Right.
let's ascertain that. So, for starters, if a person says such a thing, the first thing you can do is lend a listening ear. Don't give solutions. Don't be judgmental. Just listen. It surely means that they're going through something. So listen to what they have to say. If you feel that their reactions are not appropriate to what is happening, or you feel that they're suffering more than they should, or if it is a long standing thing and it is actually affecting their work and their social life and their personal life as well, and they can't look beyond it, and this thought of either wanting to run away or end their life, or just do kuch ho jaye and I should not exist anymore, it could mean that they're more escaping thoughts. So you can probably address that by understanding them. Look out for red flags. We can discuss the red flags as well. And if you see the red flag, you should definitely direct them to a mental health professional. But the first step would be to lend a listening ear and to be there for them.
Right. So, what are these red flags? What are these warning signs that should, you know, that we can catch?
Okay. See, so there are red flags for depression and there are red flags for suicide. Red flags for depression, I'm talking because depression is the leading cause of suicide. It is not the only cause, but it is the leading cause. So suicide could be as a result of schizophrenia or command hallucinations or impulsive behavior. There are umpteen number of reasons, but the leading cause is depression. That's why we're talking about it. The
Right.
warning signs of depression would be if I have the following symptoms for at least more than 15 days, where I get up in the morning not feeling fresh.
Okay.
Throughout the day, I am helpless, I feel stuck, I feel worthless, and I feel hopeless. I don't think it's ever going to get better. I have less interest in everything around me. I am irritable, and my responses are greater than what they would have usually been. I can't distract myself with a book, with movies, or with anything. And I see a distinct concept that this was not how I was, and I feel this way now. Yes, it is a possibility that these could be red flags of depression. Red flags of suicide could be if someone talks about suicide and gets a lot of relief from the thought that, oh, it would be such a nice thing if I don't exist. And when they think about why they don't do it, the only reason would be lack of opportunity. Ki, oh, I'm just waiting, or I just want to do it. And when they look back at the thought, they don't feel afraid that what if I had done it, but are remorseful that I didn't actually go ahead with it. These could be warning signs of suicide, and one should definitely push them towards visiting a psychiatrist, even if against their will.
Right. Right. So, Dr. Nahir, on that note, is suicide always a sign of a psychiatric disorder?
Yes, yes. For all
Can you
practical
elaborate
reasons,
a little
like
on that? Yeah.
yeah, like I said that depression is the leading cause. There could be other reasons, but yes, it always indicates a mental health issue.
Mental health disorder. All right. Okay. Now, you know, there's been a lot of media circus happening around the current the event that has happened in the recent times. And you know, there's this statement that, you know, he was a successful actor, he made a lot of money, he had access to possibly the best medical care, he had everything that one would aspire, and still he did it.
Yeah.
You know, what would you comment on some, you know, these things that you hear in the social media and general media as such?
See, the thing is that mental health issues cut across all strata of society. So it is not just psychological reason, there is a biological reason behind the depression and mental health disorders as well. So it doesn't depend on, as if we talk about psychological issues, it doesn't depend on what you have, it depends on how you perceive what you have. That is one. And secondly, there is a neurochemical called serotonin in our brain, and the dysfunction of this can cause depression. So a lot of times we see people who are depressed without a precipitating factor or a particular reason which could have pushed them along to it.
Right.
So it is not necessarily psychological, it could be biological as well. We can do things to keep ourselves safe, but I could be depressed tomorrow. It can happen to anyone.
Right, right. So that needn't be essentially a triggering factor for it. It can happen just like that to anyone.
Yeah, yes, it can.
Okay. Okay. One last question that I have, doctor.
Yeah.
I'm a parent myself. You know, I have my nieces and nephews and everyone. So, how can we actually ensure the mental health of the kids around us? And I wanted to be as
a parent
as possible on it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think with all of this, quite a few parents have contacted me that how can I be sure my child is not getting into something like this, or how can I ensure better mental health? So as a parent, yes, there are certain things that you can do. Number one is, as a parent, you don't want your kid to make the mistakes you did, or you want them to use your wisdom so that they're in a better state of mind. I would suggest that as a parent, the most important thing you can do is always be a listening ear. You don't always have to guide them or tell them what to do. So you can make your choices. Obviously, certain things are deal breakers. So if your kid is putting her hand into a electricity socket, you need to stop her. But other things, let them make choices. Let them learn from the consequences. A kid should know that whatever happens, my parent is there to listen to me. A lot of times kids go through a lot of trauma because they're so afraid of telling their parents that I'll get scolded even more. So have that communication line open so that your kid is comfortable in talking to you whatever they want. It is so disheartening that a lot of my patients are in their 20s and in their 30s, and majority of them come in alone because their parents don't understand mental health. They're like, we had to wait till we're 18 and then come and seek help on our own because there is no support system at home. A lot of them come with friends. So this shouldn't arise. You know, if the support is at home, it can make things a lot more simpler. So I think as a parent, that is very important that you do. And obviously, you can always monitor the kind of social media or the games that they are exposed to while you can. Right. So that, there is no media gives out a lot of violence and a lot of content which is not age appropriate. So probably you could monitor that from the very beginning. So I think these two things should help broadly.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nahid. This was a very, very enriching session that we had, and hopefully we'll have many more sessions like this.
Thank you, Roshali, for having me.
Thank you, doctor. Take care.